This stand-up is about dating, marriage, matrimony, and stuff like that. So the story begins like my friend was talking about like when he came to Dublin. So I came to Dublin in 2020, and I was traveling with 17 of my friends in the same flight. So we planned it actually. So it began like, and all were strangers. We didn't know anyone over there. So I went to the airport, and I met one of my friend. We went inside, and then slowly people will start coming in and joining the group. Suddenly a voice came in my ears. It's been 25 years and I'm still single. Now I want someone. I turned behind and I was like, okay, I need to be away from this girl because she's coming with a target. And then what happens? We landed in Dublin, we become friends. So, what happened next? Any guesses?
You all
Friend
became
zone.
friends.
What?
Friend zone.
That's what it
Can you pass it?
Friend zone.
means. Friend zone.
Friend zone.
Yeah.
Okay, no. So she became my roommate's girlfriend in 4 days. So I was like, the priorities were very clear. 25 years, single, need to find a guy, get committed as soon as possible. So 4 days and committed relationship. I was like, great, I'm being single from last 4 years, I'm struggling, and this girl just in 4 days found a match. Then what happens, like, I came over here for my master's. Everything was going fine, and then I got a job in Workday. I was quite happy. I was quite happy, and even like, I was like, felt quite good, rich, like, okay, I'm getting good money now. And then I went to India, and now my parents say is like, okay, now you have a good job, you're well settled, why don't you think about getting married? I'm like, okay, we should think about it. And so most of the people have used dating apps like Bumble, Tinder, Hinge, etc., correct? How was the experience?
Successful.
Bad.
Oh my god, we have a success story. Okay, what about rest? Still single?
I mean, found someone on Bumble, but rest of it was horrible.
Okay, I envy you. Okay, so in India, we have different apps. Like we have Tinder, Bumble, Hinge also, but we have more serious dating kind of apps. We call them matrimony apps, like Shaadi.com, Bharat Matrimony, and
I don't know.
and Jeevan Sathi. So
IIT.
these, what?
IITIMShadi.com.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Are you one of the subscriber?
No.
Not yet? Okay. So these apps comes with a subscription model, like premium model, like 3 months premium, 6 months premium, 1 year premium, and lifetime. You know why lifetime? Because they know you can't make it. It will never happen. You could just find right swipe, left swipe, but no. So I downloaded these apps, wrote all 3 paragraphs about myself, all the things like my height, what do I earn, and yeah, you need to tell how much do you earn. You need to show how poor you are. Else you will not get a match. Okay. So I was filling every details, and then I was like, okay, now let's see. But I was like, I won't pay for this. I'll be a free member. Then I got a call from one of the girl's father. I'm like, wow, day one, first call, and the uncle was talking about me like, oh, we like your profile and a lot, and like, it's a perfect match for my daughter. I'm like, that's good. He's like, do you want to ask something? So I was like, yeah, I would like to. So there is one thing in India called caste. So it's like different people with different occupation belong to different caste. So I asked one thing, uncle, are you fine with intercaste marriages? Uncle was like, yeah, that's chill, but what is your caste? I was like, okay, this is my caste. And then he was like, okay, I will come back to you after talking to my elders. I'm like, okay, uncle has an elder. I'm like, cool. So what do you think what happens next?
They
The elders say no.
What?
ghosted you.
No man, don't say that for the uncle. Yeah? Any other answers?
The elders say no.
No man, he's still talking to them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. So I was like, okay, the first experience was this. The next time I met someone in Ireland. So we got matched, we chatted for a day or two, and then we decided to meet on coffee. So if it was India, it was not like that. It would be like, okay, my family is coming, her family is coming. We're gonna sit there on the center table, and we'll be like, okay, all things have been made by the girl. So now we are in Ireland, can't do that. We went to a coffee shop. So we were talking for hours. We like almost went for 4 hours. It was a coffee date. It went fine. We were talking. She was asking like she asked like, okay, what do you earn? I'm like, okay, this is my salary. So yeah, you need to tell that. Yeah, you need to. And then she said like, okay, this is what I earn. So now she was earning more than me. I'm like, okay, there's a hardly difference of 100 or 200 euros. That doesn't matter. They're like, yeah, that's cool. And while leaving from there, she asked me, apply for your European visa, we will travel. I'm like, wow, I'm gonna travel. And then next day, like, sent a good morning message. I received a good morning message, like, okay, it's off to work, see you soon. And I was checking for my European visa, how to apply that. In the evening, I got a message, hey Kushagra, I want to talk to you. I'm like, yeah, I was waiting for that. Then she says, Kushagra, I have a bad news. Guess what happened?
She met someone else.
What?
She met someone else.
Oh no, not so quick. Anything else?
No appointments.
Hmm?
No appointments.
No appointments.
Yeah, there are no appointments.
Oh, that's my story, man. Like, why? What does she want to talk about?
Salary.
She got it.
He has felt that pain. So basically, she says like, "Oh, my mom is not comfortable with the salary difference. I felt poor back there."
Oh my.
So when I joined Workday, I was feeling rich. When I met this girl, I was feeling poor. I wanted to have a conversation with my manager. Can we increase the salary? I'm gonna get married. But hardly no luck yet. So I was like, okay, can't meet anyone soon now in Ireland. So I get a next match from India again, and this girl was a dentist. And how do you guys feel like how dentists are? Educated? Career oriented? Like they have a goal, correct?
Yeah.
Like if you find a dentist, what would you say? Like yeah, like people have brain. So what happens? We were talking on a phone call, and I'm like, oh, what are you doing nowadays? Are you like practicing or something like that? She's like, oh no, I'm preparing for my masters. I'm like, okay, nice. And after that, what are you gonna do? They wanna chill. I'm like, okay. So who's gonna work? She's like, my husband. I'm like, okay, what if he wants to chill? He can also chill. I'm like, then who's gonna earn? Husband. I'm like, okay, I need to marry this girl, and then I'm gonna resign. And then we're gonna chill together with a Costa cup and sitting on the road of Ireland like, okay, have a change. Because that's the best way to chill. Because when I go out, I see like, okay, I am wearing a cheap shoes and someone else is wearing the Jordans. So this was like 3 experience of the calls and the meeting up with people like that. What about you guys? Like, how did you found your matches? If anyone wants to share, if you're comfortable to.
I've been on both apps, like the matrimony app
Yeah.
and Bumble.
Okay.
Same experience on matrimony app, but better.
What are you looking for? This is the question. This is the basic question. What are you looking for?
So different answers on different apps.
Okay. Here comes the story. Okay. So I feel like this is the biggest thing that people are not clear. Like, what do they want? So, what is your want?
For now, I've refined my wants. I just want to be happy.
Okay.
But when I was on a matrimony app, it was my parents' wants.
Okay. So you want to be happy, and parents want something else for you.
Yeah, they want their version of happiness.
Okay. So they want to be happy, themselves, and they want you to be making them happy. Okay. Anyone else? Like, no one dated, married?
I can
I
just share a
got bored
small
with that.
incident with
Yep, sure.
that building up. So I was talking to this girl and it was like a good conversation. I had just moved into Ireland like maybe for a few weeks. And it was just, I would say it was rather than having any dating, it's just that I was new, I hardly knew anybody here. And we were just chatting. And then she was like, okay, you want to talk over call? I was like, fine, I'll be home like in 30 minutes and then we can have a call around 6 o'clock. She's like, fine. And then boom, there's another girl who texts me and she says,
How many girls are you talking to?
there were two girls like because there was a match at the same time. So and then so and then she asked the same question that okay, are you free at 6 so we can have a call? I was like, what's going on here? And
Okay.
but that time it didn't really strike me. But I was like, okay, it's possible maybe the two know each other somehow. And then I met
Okay.
this girl, and then after that she tells me the other girl you're talking to is my flatmate.
Okay, so what did you say? I'm fine with both.
So, and I was like, I kind of suspected that, but later on, like, I was a good friend with this girl, like, we didn't really date or anything, just, she really helped me.
Friend zone. Okay, that's fine. Cool.
Yeah. And like, she really helped me when I needed to move and stuff and everything, so just like it, just as I said, like, I was
A helping
looking
hand.
for something, so, yeah,
Yeah.
that's all.
So, like, what happens next? Like, I get a next call, and now the girl is talking to me, and I'm like, okay, everything seems to be good. I'm like, okay, what do you like in me? Like, in my profile, she's like, height. I'm like, okay, I have written 3 paragraphs about me, and what about that? She's like, oh, that must be a lie. Like, I have written over there, like, I'm intellectual, I'm caring, I'm loving, and she's like, no, that might be a lie. What I like is your height, because she knows I can't be fat, I can be thin, but cannot reduce my height. So she was straight. And like, this was the experience on matrimony and stuff like that. Bumble, Hinge, and stuff like that. So I met a girl, I was like, okay, done with the matrimony thing. Let's try the normal thing that is the more normal nowadays. So I met another girl on Bumble, and I went to meet her for the first time. And then she says, hey man, my dad was asking, where are you from in India? I'm like, okay, what does your father do? And what does your brothers and sisters do? I'm like, okay, I thought I'm on a date. I didn't came here to get married right now. And that was the first time I booked a cab and ran away from there. So thank you guys. Hope you enjoyed it.
Just calling out there, Kushagra, you painted a pretty grim picture of the girls.
Oh, that's the boys' story.
Right, we need a girl to tell us.